Hey everybody, we're live talking some hoops today. We're gonna first discuss the men's victory over Illinois, which was huge yesterday, especially since Iowa's going on the road for four of their next five games. And so it's gonna be tough road trip for them. However, let's talk about the men's game first. So what an exciting game that was! That was really intense. I didn't get to watch it live with everybody else. Excuse me. Um, but I listened to the last 2 minutes in my car on my way home, which was a 20-minute drive. So that last 2 minutes took over 20 minutes. And so I'm listening, and it was just really, really what an intense, nerve wracking 2 minutes that was until Iowa and Connor rebounded that last ball to preserve the victory. I was really scared that we were going to turn the ball over on those two trying to pass the ball in underneath the Illinois basket after they made their free throws to pull within two. And so, um, or was it? Yeah. Anyway, so I was really scared about that. And then, of course, we go down and we make one free throw, I think. Um, and then we go down and they have a chance to tie it up. And of course, it comes up short, I think. Right? I don't remember. Anyway, okay. Anyway, as you know, everything worked out in Iowa's favor. We beat the Illini after losing five straight games to them, but we seems like most of our games have been really close with the Orange Crush team, the Orange Boys, the Orange Men. Um, so that's just a typical Iowa Illinois game in typical fashion. And before we lost five in a row to Illinois, we had beaten them five in a row. So it was finally nice to actually get a victory over Illinois. And so let's just hit some of the stats real quick. Iowa wins it 81-79. They moved their record to 7-5 in the Big Ten, which now drops Illinois to 7-5 in the Big Ten. So temporarily, they were tied for second. Now they're tied for third. I mean, they were tied for third before with just those two teams, but but Maryland, Michigan, I believe Northwestern, um, Indiana, Illinois are all Michigan are all 6-5 right now. Um, I mean 7-5 now as of games played today. So we have a five-way tie for third place. Rutgers sits at second place, 8-4, and Purdue first place at 11-2, which happens to be our next game. And of course, them losing this game to Indiana yesterday is not going to sit too well with them. And it's already going to be a tough game. But Purdue coming off that loss, they're going to lose their number one ranking because of it. And so they're going to be a little salty at their home, and it's going to be a tough environment for Iowa to play in. Especially with Edie. We don't have anybody that can match up with Edie, and we're going to have to watch for foul troubles. Um, it's good. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a crazy game. I'm not even sure I want to watch it. I'm almost want to just leave it off and come at the end and find out who won. Yeah, that's how crazy nerve wracking game it was. I think it's going to be for that game. And so, anyhow, that is just like the Big Ten is just crazy tight this year. I mean, all those 7-5 teams, and then you got Michigan State at 6-6, and then I think you got two or three teams at 5-6. So look at that, and those teams that are all bunched up at 7-5, they're going to have to start knocking each other off. You know, um, and so that's going to hurt too. We don't want Iowa to be part of that. I and so let's just talk about some of the points and stuff. Okay, Rabacha scores 13 points. 19 points by Murray. he's holding tough. I mean, he got into foul trouble and he only played. Well, actually, he played 35 minutes. Not bad for a guy who was in foul trouble. And so Eulis, though, the man of the hour, 32 points. Gosh. And he was 15 of 16 from the free throw line. The guy was on fire, guys. On fire. He couldn't miss, until that final free throw. Oh my gosh. When he missed that final free throw to keep it at a 3-point lead for Iowa, you know, you really needed that one more. That would have all but sealed the victory. Instead, we had to go through the drama that we went through at the end of the game in order to to win it. So, what drama, guys? What drama? And let's see. Eulis only scored 2 points. Since Eulis had his big game 2 or 3 games ago, he's kind of disappeared. He really has. It's too bad. Connor, uh, Connor didn't score any points in this game, but he doesn't need to. 9 points by Peyton Sanford. Patrick McCaffrey only got 3 points, but he played only 13 minutes. You guys, you think he's going to get back in someday? More minutes, or you think it's going to take some time, or was his absence pretty much meaning that he's just going to be a spot player the rest of the season? What do you guys think? I'm not sure what to think right now. Josh Dix, he also only got 3 points, and then Desante Bowen and Riley McCulvey both got time in the game and only come up with 0 points. So, um, yeah, guys, I look for Riley to play a few more minutes against Purdue. It almost has to because we're not going to be able to hold up. Okay, so Iowa committed. Uh, let me get this straight here. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Well, I'm not finding what I wanted to find. Um, Here, maybe it's down here. Okay, that's just all the scoring. Um, so let's go back. Okay, so anyway, that was a huge victory for Iowa. They needed the victory, and it's kind of nice that we got it tied for third. Um, I'm just going to tell the Hawkeye fans, don't get bent out of shape or start worrying if we start, if we lose to a team like Purdue. Um, because Purdue's going to be tough. I mean, we can beat them. We've proven before we can beat them. It's just going to be tough at their place. But I mean, we've got also Northwestern coming up. Minnesota coming up at Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota we must beat. That is a must-win game at Minnesota. Granted, they're not very good this year, but that doesn't mean that they can't rise up and beat you if you're not ready to play them. And so Iowa has to go in there, you know, just like they're playing a number one team, like they were playing Illinois, like they were playing Indiana. Any team that they don't know that's that competitive, they need to treat that game just like that. Okay, so so don't take Minnesota for granted. And of course, I believe Penn State is the lone home game in that 5 game stretch. I believe Penn State comes, and as you guys know, they've already beaten Iowa. So that's that. So we need to come back and get that victory. We need to come back and pay them back for losing before to them. Um, and then I believe we have. Well, let's just let me get the schedule out. I'm trying to guess it every. Um, there's no point in not getting the schedule out. Okay. Okay. So here I got the order mixed up. Okay. All right. So we're gonna play Purdue. Then we're at Minnesota. Then Ohio State comes. Ohio State is the lone home game in that stretch. Okay. So then we got to play Ohio State, and we lost to them. Them and Ohio State's not playing well right now, but they weren't playing well when we lost to them before. So well, they've got to get that one back. Northwestern is going to be a tough road game. And Northwestern kind of gave us fits a little bit at our home floor, and they're tough, and they could rise up and beat us. They really could. But I don't know if Iowa, they've proven they can beat them once. Hopefully on the road they can get them. And then we got Wisconsin on the road, and that's gonna be another tough game. Wisconsin again is also not playing the best basketball right now, but they're dangerous. They're dangerous and could rise up and beat the Hawkeyes. They already have. And I think we had a chance to win that on a 2 point or 3 point shot and lost to Wisconsin at home, but we have to play there in Madison. So, but it's a winnable game. It's a winnable game. We've already proved that. Michigan State is going to be a winnable game. We have them at home. That's a winnable game. I think we can win that. Okay. Um, then the second last game on February 28th is Indiana. We're going to go on the road to play Indiana in Bloomington. And so, honestly, guys, that's going to be a tough game. That's going to be a tough game. Indiana had us by 21 before we came back at home and won. I don't know if we can do that again, and we'll see. Indiana is the real deal. They're just not having the kind of season I thought they would have. They got all that talent, so be looking for that. And then finally, our last regular season game on March 5th will be against Nebraska. We got to win that one at home. Again, Nebraska's not playing the best ball, but that's a must win because we also lost to them earlier this year. I keep thinking if we'd have had Nebraska and the Penn State win before, we'd be sitting in second place at 9-3. Right, 9-2. Um, yeah, if we'd have had those two wins, so it'd be 9 and I believe we'd be sitting in 9-3, 9-3. Yeah. We'd be sitting at 9-3 if we could have had that, and then if we could have picked up the Michigan State win on the last second bucket. Um, there's another game we could have had. Maybe we're in second place at 10-2. This is just like, oh my gosh, guys, how close Iowa is to being one of the top teams in the Big Ten. Okay, so but let's move on, guys. Let's kind of move on to a little bit to the women's game, and let's talk about that. Okay, I want to. The stats for this game were a little harder to find, um, but I think I found them. It's because they were the game. So Iowa wins huge today. The women do. Um, they win by a final score, 95-51 over the Nittany Lions, the Lady Lions as they call themselves. And so Iowa started. I don't know. They started out a little slow. That Penn State hung with them for a little while, but Caitlin Clark with a triple double today. That's her ninth one, 23 points. She was 3 for 3 from the free throw line, 9 for 17 field goals. However, she only hit two 3 point shots for a woman who's known for hitting 3 point shots. Looks like most of her damage was done within the 2 point range today. And so, okay, so Susanna only played 23 minutes a day and scored 14 points, but she was pretty much on as usual, 7 for 10 on field goals and 4 rebounds. McKenna Warnock is getting stronger. She played 19 minutes and got 9 points today. She's getting stronger. Of course, I said, Clark had her triple double, and she had 14 assists and 10 rebounds. I think they purposely left her in the game because I think she needed that last rebound to get her triple double, and because I thought they kept her in the game a lot longer than normally they would have. Um, and Gabby Marshall, only played 19 minutes as a starter, and she's one of my favorite players because she can do things on the floor defensively and come up with steals. But she is really struggling offensively this year after having her first 3 years. She did really well, but she's only scoring 3 points. She only scored 3 points today. And I'd like to see more out of her. Um, Kate Merton, 20 minutes with 11 points. Really hot shooting today, 4 for 5 on field goal range. And just to go back to Gabby, Gabby only took 2 shots all day, so she hit 1 for 2. Um, everybody on the roster who was active played today. Everybody but 2 people scored. Um, when I was listening on the radio earlier, because I had to watch this on playback also, it's just been a busy weekend with family and church and stuff. So, um, but Sydney Ofter only scored 0, but she tried. She got 7 rebounds though, so she was really working hard with 3 assists. Um, but she was 0 for 2 on shooting, and she actually come pretty close on both of those shots. Um, of course, I think the rising star of the future is Hannah Stuelke, and she had 9 points and 4 for 5 for shooting and 8 rebounds, and she's going to replace Cezanne at that. She's going to replace that Cezanne there. Um, yeah, at the center. Um, Wettering played 6 minutes for 2 points. AJ Edgar played 4 minutes for 5. Allison O'Grady only played 2 minutes for 4 points. It seems like her, since the young girls are there on now, that she's playing less and less minutes because last year she was in there an awful lot, especially she come in for Cezanne a lot, and it just seems like since Stolke's taking over, that Stolke's getting the bulk of those minutes that Grady O'Grady would have had last year. Uh, there's Goodman. I don't know much about her. She's listed as a center, 2 points. And Taylor McCabe, 13 minutes, 2 for 4 shooting, 2 for 4 on her 3 points for 6 points. Molly Davis for 20 minutes, 2 for 3 for 7 points. You guys got to watch her move on the floor. She's all over the place. She's moving a lot without the ball. If you just watch, she moves a lot. I don't know if she's really a much of a 3 point threat. Her 3 point shots always look off when she shoots, but she's definitely always there. She's playing hard defense. She's moving around a lot without the ball, trying to get a spot where she's open, and she makes some pretty darn good passes when she needs to. So overall, the Hawkeyes shot 59% from the field today. Um, and of course, Penn State only shot 27% from the field today. They're obviously not a great team, Penn State. They were at one time. They were at one time, and we trailed the series with them because there was a time when we couldn't beat this team at all. And so, they only Penn State only had 5,000 people, 5,200 people in the stands today to watch this game. So they're at 35% capacity today. Yeah, I don't really have much else. They did hold this girl name. Her last name is Marissa. Um, to 9 points, and I believe she is their go-to person. The way the announcers were talking today on there, I think she's the go-to person on the team. So okay, so this is I covered both the men and women's victories. Let's talk about what the women have coming up. Okay, let's talk about what they have coming up on their schedule. Okay, so you guys can't see this, but I'm using my cell phone to get the stats and stuff. Um, there we go. Sorry for being quiet. Okay. Um, Iowa has a huge game. They are 11-1, tied for first place with Indiana, who's also 11-1 in the Big Ten. This game is huge. It's at Indiana. Unfortunately, but I think we can get them. I'm pretty sure that we can beat this team. We have to beat this team. If we want to have a shot again at our regular season, we have to beat teams like that. And then Rutgers and Wisconsin come to Iowa City. We should beat them. And then we go on the road to play Nebraska again. We should beat them. Maryland's going to be tough because although we beat them, which seemingly was pretty easy, it was pretty easy. I don't want to call any win an easy win in the Big Ten, but the score was pretty lopsided, more than you would expect with Maryland. But it's going to be at Maryland, so Maryland will give Iowa time everything they had, and then of course we got the return game with Indiana back in Iowa City before that to end their regular season. So Iowa has 6 games left. Um, uh, Personally, I think they might go 4-2 in those games. I got them 4-2. Um, and so we'll see. I hate to say that. That would put them 15-3. I don't know where that would put them as far as in the standings, because you got right behind them. You got Maryland and Illinois, and I believe right behind in the standings. So um, that's going to be pretty decent, I think. Okay. Also today, let's talk a little Hawkeye football. I'm not sure how this is going to work out overall. But we have a new commit today, a linebacker. He's a transfer linebacker, and he's from um, Illinois, Virginia. So he's from Virginia. I got to bring this up. Okay. And so he's like rated like the number 3 linebacker that was left in the portal. Now, because he committed today, does this? I don't know if that means. I don't think he can still enroll in Iowa City at all. I mean, enroll for the spring semester. I think it's too late. So I don't know if he's going to be doing spring ball with Iowa or not. Um, so that's one thing we need to figure out, if we're going to have to wait for June for him. Um, but he was second team All ACC in 2022. I don't know how. I'm trying to see if I got any years of eligibility. What's he got left? But I'm not sure. But here's something. Um, Iowa must be starting to become known as linebacker U, because we beat out Oklahoma and LSU for this guy. I mean, absolutely. When you start beating teams out like of those caliber that are the blue buds of college football for a recruit, that says a lot. That says a lot. This means this guy, he's serious. He wants to get to the NFL, and he knows that Iowa puts linebackers and DBs in the NFL, and so he's wanting to go. He's wanting to go and check it out and become a Hawkeye. So we got that. Also, want to point out that Iowa won their wrestling duel with Minnesota the other night, Friday night. Uh, I forget the final score. Um, Iowa won the first 6 matches, and Minnesota won the last 4 matches. Iowa, I don't think they had a bonus point score all night. Um, but Real Woods, he won. He was expected to win. Spencer Lee won. He was expected to win, but he didn't get a technical fall or a real pin this time. He went the distance, but this guy's rated, so he was rated pretty highly. So this guy gave the guy everything he could have. The thing I noticed about was in comment, um, Abe Assad wasn't wrestling, nor was Tony Caspiani. Caspioni. Okay, I call him Cass for short. Neither one of those wrestled. I don't know if they're out with injuries or if this is just brands wanting to give these guys a rest, or what the deal was. I don't think there was an explanation why those two guys didn't wrestle. I think we could have won both of those spots had we done, but I believe Iowa put what I read somewhere that they put in three. Let me dig it up. I think they brought three freshmen in those, and I can bring that up too. I mean, there's no reason why I can't do that. I have it right here. Okay. By the way, congratulations to Ayala for winning the Don Parker Open title. That's the third title he's won today. I believe the 125 spot after Spencer leaves after this year is in good hands with Ayala. Okay, so Iowa wins 18-13 against Minnesota in the wrestling match. Let's just bring up some stuff here. We built an 18-0 lead before, of course, like I said, they won the last four. There were three true freshmen in the lineup. He's never done that before. So I'm looking right now to see. Okay, Spencer Lee had a 7-1 victory over number six Patrick McGee. So I mean, the guy is highly ranked. I mean, he didn't get to be number six for that. And then I think 130. I think we finally found our guy for 133. We're starting to win some matches there with Brody Teskey. Um, and so he wins 4-3. And I guess he's from Fort Dodge too, just like Ayala is. Real Woods, he went 8-1 decision. Um, Max Mirren won a decision. Won his decision. He had 12-0 lead, and then um, oh no, that was that. He had 11-7 decision. Okay. And so then Cody Seabrick also won his match too. That was the last match. Patrick Kennedy. Wait a minute. Patrick Kennedy also won. Um, Patrick Kennedy won. That was the last one. And so I'm just looking to see if what's going on here. Jacob Warner lost his match, but he was about to win 1-0 when his guy at the last second made a move right at the very last second. I was kind of hoping that he didn't have any time left when he made his move, but he won on a takedown with a 2-1 decision. And I think it's because Warner put himself in a bad position. I could see that coming the way he was grabbing his leg. Um, and, I know he was trying to pull him down. But I think he'd been better to pull a Minnesota by running around the mat instead of just trying to go after him for another point when he had that one wrapped up with just seconds to go. Okay. Um. Yeah, this was the first match this year that Lee didn't get a bonus points. 5,000 people were in attendance, and yeah, they're not talking. There's nothing here about why Abasad and Tony didn't wrestle. That would have been nice, guys. That would have been nice. So I know the headline says this was about men and women's basketball. But I did sneak a little football and a little wrestling in there for you guys. I try to update you guys every little now and then of my thoughts and stuff. And so um, it's been almost 30 minutes. I think it's a good place to end this, and I appreciate it. Next time you guys come in, why don't you leave me some comments? It would be great. I respond to comments. They're right there where you can type them. I do respond, and it makes it more interesting. Also, I just want to say if you made it this far, please subscribe, subscribe to this podcast. And you'll get notified when I go live. Um, Also, not only subscribe to it, but like it and share it. Share it with all your Hawkeye fans, your Husker fans, your Gopher fans, your Illini fans, and your Cyclone fans. Okay, share it, share it, share it. I want to. I just want to see this. I mean, let's get up to. I think we got 220 people um, following it. Let's get this up to 300 first, and then I eventually want to get this up to 1,000. And coming soon, Coach Hack and Jack's Florida Hawkeye, also known as Paul, will be making their return back to this. I know that Coach Hack is ready to do some podcasts again. We just have to work it out with Paul and his work schedule. I know you guys really like them, and you like the information Hack gives you, and you like the comedy that and the comedy and the wit that Paul adds to this podcast, and I miss it too. I wish they were here all the time, and podcast isn't the same without them, you know. But I appreciate you guys being here, and they'll be back. Don't worry. I'm not going solo forever. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I hope our three Hawkeyes in the Pro Bowl did really well today. I did not watch the Pro Bowl. I watched the reruns of both the Iowa and the men's basketball games instead. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Take care.